What's up?
Hi everyone. So I've been getting a lot of inboxes on my Tumblr. People have been asking me about how I got my job, how I'm liking my job. And for those of you who don't know, I'm 22 and I have a full-time job. I figured I would make a video just kind of explaining how I got my job, what my job is, and then I'm gonna also kind of go on some sort of a tangent and tell you adulting, or the scary term that everyone likes to talk about, tips and tricks that I've recognized. I really want to clarify, I am not an expert. I've only been working full time since June. These are just my personal experiences. So let's get started. I started applying to jobs November and December of my senior year of college. It's kind of a long process. Like throughout the entire year, I was just sending in applications. And the grand total, I think I applied to over 70 jobs. Don't be discouraged because I got plenty of rejection, but eventually I did get a job. So, some of my tips for when you're applying to jobs would be make sure that your resume is very concise. I brought my resume to the career services at my school and I basically thought it was perfect, and they were like, no, you got to cut this down to 1 page or less. You really just want to highlight the main things that you're involved in and your accolades, and you don't want to like go so long that the person's not going to actually read the information. Also, I really recommend having a LinkedIn and making sure it's completely up to date with everything that you've done. A lot of companies do look at your LinkedIn, and you can actually apply to jobs through LinkedIn. You just go to a job posting and you just click apply, and it will usually just send the employer the link to your LinkedIn profile. So I applied to plenty of jobs that way, and I thought it was a really good way. And recruiters actually reach out to people on LinkedIn a lot too, so it's a great resource. When you do a cover letter, you personalize it to the company. I did have like some sort of a template for my cover letter, but I did try to change and cater to the type of company it was, or why I think I'd be a great fit for that specific company. I think that's really good to show that you're doing your research and you know what the job is and why you want to apply to it. It's not just like, let's send out as many applications as we can and hope for the best. I definitely recommend brushing up on your like logic puzzles. I had a couple interviews that I was so caught off guard because I was asked a very specific like logic puzzle. I know this is more common with computer science and like analyst type positions. They want to see your thought process, but it's still really good to just stay sharp on those things. And when you go to an interview at a company, I would totally ask about company culture, look around and see what type of place it seems to be, because that really is a big factor in why I chose my job. I mean, I loved it. Was a new office and a lot of the employees were younger, and they also did a ton of community service, and I think that's something that's really important because you're spending a lot of time at your job. You want to make sure you're surrounded by the people and the mentality that you like. So definitely ask about company culture, and I think it for the employer themselves, like they look at that in a positive light because you're not just worried about getting a job, like you want to actually like the job too. So I do data analytics and I would love to talk about that more, but I don't know if that's really anyone's interest. So feel free to message me. So now I'm going to talk more about the adulting that everyone fears when they graduate. I will say I am way less stressed now that I have a job and a set schedule. I think at school I was so involved in a lot of things, and school itself was really hard, so I was like always stressed out and busy and lacking sleep. And now that I am working 9 to 5 every day, I honestly like love it. So my hours are around 8:30 to 5:30, but when you work a full-time job, it's not like you have to be punching into a clock at a certain time. But I would definitely recommend not being the like clock watcher person who, I know it's really frowned upon to be the person like the second it turns to 5 o'clock, you're just out the door. I have to commute around 30 minutes, reverse commute, so I'm like going against traffic, but it's not that bad. And one thing I will say, I love podcasts. If anyone wants me to do a video on my favorite podcast, I would love to do that. That makes my commute so much better. Like, instead of being sick of my music I listen to constantly, I'm always listening to like a new episode of something. And at 5:30, I leave, I drive home, and some days I gotta stop at the grocery store, some days I have to stop at like CVS or Target. Usually just come home, I get home around 6:15, and I make myself dinner, shower. If I need to clean my apartment at all, I read my book, I watch Netflix, and I try to hang out with my friends at least once or twice a week. I always, when I make my dinner, I pack a lunch for the next day. So one of my tips is definitely get groceries and try to pack lunch and make dinners at home. You can save a lot of money by doing that. As far as adulting goes, my biggest thing would be make the most of your weekends. A lot of people say that, you're doing the same thing every day. It's just monotonous and long. And it's like there's no end point. It's not like college where you have like a winter break or like summer break. Like, it's your life, which can be daunting to some. It's so fulfilling to like have weekend trips. I'm going to go visit school for a weekend. Just planning things with friends and family is like the best way to like feel like you're still having a social life and still doing fun things. Okay, so I'm gonna finish up this video to keep it from getting too long. Definitely go to any work events there are. My work does a ton of volunteer events, which is awesome. And we had a summer party, we have a winter party, and then we have team outings. Like, take advantage of those things and get to know other people that aren't just on your team. Be open to learning new things. My internship I had over the summer and my job now, I know it was a really big positive thing that I basically said to them, I was like, I don't know this exact coding language, but I studied computer science. I understand what coding is and the mentality to have about it. And I was like, and I want to learn these things. Like, when you're open about like wanting to learn and like being eager and excited to learn more, I think that's just like such a good trait. I recommend getting the app Mint. It's a budgeting app and it links to your bank account. And basically, it just keeps track of how much you're spending on Uber, bars, or groceries, gas, stuff like that. It's really helpful for me. I mean, sometimes it can be like, oh, I really spent a lot of money this month, but at least I can see like where I'm spending the money and maybe where I could pull back a little bit. So definitely recommend that app. It also reminds you to pay your bills. I have all my bills on auto pay. Unless it's my utilities where it changes every month, I actually go in and pay it that one just so I can see what it is. But other than that, my internet and my rent and my parking, it all just is automatic, and I just get an email when it's processing. So it's awesome because you never will miss a payment. In terms of transportation, I Uber so much. And I just highly recommend doing Uber Pool. If you don't have like a specific time you need to be somewhere by, you can save like $10 or more. Most of the time, Uber Pool is like half the price of an Uber X. So it sometimes can take a lot more time. At the same time, like, I have time to kill if it's gonna save me $10. And my last thing is for TV and entertainment, you can get away with having not a lot of live television channels. I don't know about you guys, but I don't watch a lot of live television. I think all I really watch is like This Is Us and The Bachelor. And that I watch like a ton of YouTube and Netflix, and I don't really watch live TV, maybe sports sometimes. I got the cable and internet provider that is just like 10 live TV channels and internet, and it's considerably cheaper. And then I just got an HDMI cord so I can plug in my computer to my TV, and I can watch anything that I could watch on my computer on my TV. And also, I didn't know this until like literally a month ago, but Xfinity has Netflix like built into it, whether or not your TV is a smart TV. So you really don't need to get a lot of live television channels, and you can save money that way. Hopefully this video helped someone, or at least was interesting in some way. Feel free to just subscribe to my channel down below. Good luck to everyone that's in their senior year or junior year applying to jobs or internships. Just be positive about it and don't let the rejection scare you. You will end up where you need to end up. It's not going to be the end of the world. And also, adulting is great. It's not a crazy wild party every single day like college sometimes is, but it's really not bad, and don't be scared about it. Take it on. Oh, and drink a lot of coffee. It helps. Bye, guys.